Hello, Conquerpreneurs, and welcome to another open house Conquer class. We are doing these Conquer classes to celebrate you women who are in business. October is National Women Small Business Month, so we are celebrating each other, and we are bringing to you information to help you build mental wealth and business. So I am so honored and thrilled to have with us today Vivian, who is the co-founder of Flourish Media. And before we get started, I want to kind of introduce what we're going to talk about because it's really something that affects many entrepreneurs at different levels. And that is dealing with branding and marketing without burning out. We were just talking about that before we even got on, how sometimes you want to be visible, but physically you can't, or things are happening in life and you can't always be online showing up all the time. Also, you might deal with a little social media anxiety and you're nervous about, how is my brand looking? Am I attracting the right clients? How do I look to partners? What if you want to get contracts? You want your brand to look professional. You want it to look good. So we have with us today, Vivian. Welcome to the Conquer Network. I'm honored to have you. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching this on the replay. The Conquer Network is such a wonderful environment for entrepreneurs like us. Can we give a round of applause for Seneca for coming and putting this together and creating this environment for us? So if you want to support, make sure you put a 1 in the comments. Go ahead and do that. Just type 111 in the comments just so we can say thank you to Seneca for creating this space. I am Vivian Olodun. I am part of Flourish Media. We are a marketing, training, and development firm, and I am a mom of 2. I had 2 babies during the pandemic. I'm very honored and happy to say that, if you do Google my name or look up Flourish Media, you'll see us in Forbes and USA Today. We are $1 million firm, but you know what? Today, what we're going to talk about is how the heck do you do all this stuff and still keep a level head. So I'm super excited to share with you this concept called launch and live. How can you build your business in such a way where you can launch your product, launch your business, launch this service that you're bringing into the world and be able to live your life? So thank you, Seneca, for having me today.
All right, you are so very welcome. And some of you might have noticed that over the past few years, I've been working with Flourish Media on different things. You've seen me in their network as well. You've seen the work that they've done for my brand. So that is especially why I have them here, so that you can firsthand get an experience of them. So I'm looking forward to this presentation.
Outstanding. So let's rock and roll, ladies. And again, if you are agreeing with anything that I'm saying here, please interact inside of the chat. I live in an online world, ladies. So, getting that immediate response is so exciting for me. And I love the validation. So make sure that you're using that comment area and stay connected. So let's get cracking. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And if you can see my screen, go ahead and put 111 down in the comments so I know that you're seeing it all right. So this is a concept, launch and live, how to build a joy-focused business in 4 phrases. This is the way that we support all of our clients at Flourish Media. It's what we do personally, and I hope that it will edify you and give you some value and some things to take away. And so when it comes to being able to build a joy-focused business, the things that you want to focus on is clarity, visibility, confidence, and leadership. Because, we know what that is, where you're working yourself ragged, right? Well, you have crippling anxiety about taking time for yourself, or that you keep putting yourself last. I want to encourage you to not do that anymore. I want you to be able to build your business and grow your brand without that anxiety. So what we're covering today is we're going to cover building a brand that is irresistible to your ideal client with systems that make them feel like your number 1 priority. Because the reality is, when you're building a business and you're servicing your clients, you want them to feel like your number 1 priority. But we all know that that's not necessarily true, because you have family, you have other things that you are responsible for. So teaching entrepreneurs this concept is really the joy of my life. You know what I mean? Truly, teaching entrepreneurs like you is one of the major things that just gets me out of bed. And I want you to learn to be unapologetic about your gifts. When you're unapologetic about your gifts, it's easy for you to stand in your truth and share with others. And I want you to understand and think about the last time that you purchased something, when you were actually sold something, and think about how exciting it was to buy something that you felt confident in. Think about how your ideal clients are going to react when you are excited about your brand. And for us entrepreneurs who look like us, what happens is sometimes we become overly humble in the services and products that we offer. And unfortunately, it makes the sales process even more difficult when it doesn't have to be. Be unapologetic about your gifts, because only you can do what you do. The old way of being able to sell things and build your business is about having that know, like, and trust factor, where you are networking a lot, you're on social media, you're getting repeat customers, and that's great. But they're liking you because you're exceeding expectations. You're allowing unrealistic requests. And sometimes it's because you're the best value. And that trust that they have in you is based on that previous experience that doesn't truly align with the type of business that you want to see, so that you are not suffering from burnout. You under promise and over deliver. And I want you to think about, how is that helping you create a joy focused business? Because, disclaimer, if you've never heard from me, and many of you probably never have, I'm going to be very honest with you when it comes to building your business. And I want you to ask yourself, why am I filling my life with work? Why? Because for me, when I was confronted with this reality, the answer was my ego wanted to be pleased and validated. I shared with you that, that reality for me. And think about, can your ego handle you not being present in the business all the time? Can your ego handle you stepping away and trusting other people to fill in those gaps? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I live in honesty, that I enjoy being wanted, I enjoy being needed, but not at the expense of my peace. I can't do that because I have a family to show up for. So when it comes to building your business, I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. But let's talk about getting clear on your business. Why did you build this business, and what are you getting out of working so hard? Because before we can get into the solutions to this problem, the solutions of not running into burnout and stepping away from that being your normal, we need to identify why is that the case, right? And so when it comes to building your business, I want you to know that you don't need to be the person who's answering emails. You don't have to be the person who's opening your store or closing your store. You don't have to be the person who's meeting with vendors in real time. There are solutions for that. And if you can't say amen, just go ahead and say ouch, because we're going to keep going. Why you feel overwhelmed is most likely because you're simply out of alignment. And that I found in the 8 years that we've been running Flourish Media is because you're thinking of either or instead of yes and. Because you don't have to say to yourself, oh, I can have a great business, or I can have a fulfilling personal life. I can have a wonderful, healthy family, or I can have a thriving business. You can have both. So how do you do that? How do you make sure that you can live in a world of yes and? Well, the first phase of that is to get visible. Simply let people know that you exist. People can't buy from you. Your ideal client can't buy from you. Your ideal sponsor, the ideal partnership, they can't collaborate with you if they don't know that you exist. And when I talk about this, I'm not talking about TikTok. I'm not going to ask you to dance on social media. It works for some people. But what I'm thinking about is the reality of being in front of your ideal client, right? So the first thing I said to you, the first opportunity, the concept that I presented to you was being unapologetic about your brand. And if you are 100% confident in your brand, what are the top 3 major companies, your dream clients, your dream collaborations, your dream sponsorships that you would reach out to if you were moving forward with your visibility? Well, I want to give you this scenario. Let's say that you're talking to that one of those top 3 sponsorships, partners, clients, and they go and Google you. What are they going to find? What are they going to see? Let's talk about money and stability, okay? When it comes to visibility. Your income is unpredictable, and that's true for almost every entrepreneur, but visibility is one of these things that fixes that problem. Because when I talk to entrepreneurs, a lot of times they'll say that I haven't invested in having a team, or I haven't invested in getting a good camera, or haven't, taken the time away to put together a marketing plan, because this month I made 70,000, next month I'm making 20,000, then the following month I didn't make anything, and out of nowhere I made $100,000. So when you have this sporadic income, and I've been there, we're talking to each other honestly here. I've been there. Flourish Media has been there. And when that happens, you start to think, well, I can't invest in having a VA, which really should be your very first investment in your business when it comes to having personnel in your business. Or I can't pay for that really great technology that I know I need, because next month I don't know if I'm going to make the money. Well, the problem with that thought process is that, unfortunately, a lot of us get stuck in this place. And if you're stuck in this place, then you're in the right place. And I want you to really utilize the resources that are available through the Conquer Network and through Seneca Williams and through all of her resources that she's been able to put together, because we can easily go into a spiral where we're thinking, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe my pricing is wrong. Maybe my marketing is unclear. Or will anybody even want this? Maybe I'm, selling to a wall. Well, the reality is probably because you just haven't told enough people, okay? Visibility fixes that. Within Flourish Media, we focus on helping our clients understand that psychologically, statistically, outside of Flourish and just in marketing in general, people need to hear from you 3 times in order to remember who you are. We've all been to social events. We've been in school or outside of school, in church and temple and all these different environments. We meet a lot of people every single day. And when you are connecting with others, you need to talk about your business at least 3 times to the same person for them to even remember who you are. Statistically, depending on your industry, you need to do an activity 6 to 12 times before somebody is going to take an action on your business. So within Flourish Media, we like to use the rule of 8. You need to connect with your audience 8 times. So, and I do mean talking to the exact same person 8 times. So how do you do that? Well, you do that by embracing your visibility, leveraging all of the free tools that are available out there in order to do that. When it comes to social media within the marketing world is still a novelty, believe it or not. There are so many other ways that you can build your brand and be able to grow your brand. And I think it's important for you to note the number of followers that I have. I recognize that I'm coming from a different perspective, and I recognize that I have a business partner who does have over 100,000 followers. But I want you to remember that every single person starts with 0. Every single business starts with 0 money. You have to earn that first dollar, and you earn it every single day by showing up for your brand. And when it comes to social media, I don't want you to think about, I need to have 100,000 followers, 10,000 followers. I want you to honor the one person who took the time out of their day to follow you. That one person. You treat that person like gold, like they are valuable to you, because they are. They're reinforcing the fact that your dream that you have has some validity to somebody in the world. And your real goal when it comes to having your branding online and in any space is to create brand saliency. I have that Nike check there because Nike hasn't changed their logo in years. Neither has Disney, neither has Coca-Cola, over hundreds of years. And I want you to think about your own company, about your own brand, and think about how many times have you changed your logo? How consistent are you in the visible space? I'm asking you this because brand saliency is a part of your visibility, and your ability to be consistent helps you to hit that 3 times for people to see you, that 8 times for people to see you, and you're actually collapsing time for people to make an investment with you. Because when I see that Nike check, I have an idea of their quality of service. I know what they stand for. I have an idea of how much their price range is. I know who they have collaborated with in the past. I know so many things just because that logo hasn't changed. And for us as business owners, sometimes we think that we need to come out with something bright and new every moment. But in actuality, in practice, your consistency compounds over time and has more impact in creating a staying power with your audience than changing your brand will ever do. So how can you do this? You can do this by standardizing your visuals. That means your logo, your colors, your fonts, having a stable website, owning all of your social handles. And that means, as they come out with different social media platforms, you don't need to be active on every single one of those platforms, but you do need to own your handle. So go in there, grab your handle so that you can be consistent. When it comes to your packaging, whether it's a billboard or it's a digital email, all of it should look the same. Nike has that, and so can you. Phase 3 is confidence. Confidence comes from doing. The more that you go on live on social media, the more that you share your brand, the more that you're talking about the resources and the problems that you solve, the more comfortable you will be and the more confident you will come across. And it'll be more easy for you to be unapologetic about your brand because you're used to talking about it all of the time. When it comes to building your brand and having confidence, I want you to remember that you're not starting from zero. If you're in the Conquer Network, if you're listening to this presentation, I bet that you have years of experience under your belt, that you've been in your industry for years, that you've most likely been in the marketplace for years. You might be new to being an entrepreneur, which is understandable, but you are definitely not new to the expertise that you have. So I want you to remember that. Remember what you've done and share that. Your digital reputation speaks to you as an authority in the field. So it's important for you to be present. What I don't want you to do is to stand on the sidelines. Because again, think about those 3 major partner sponsors, clients that you want for your brand, and think about them Googling you. Your goal, soon as you leave this presentation, should be to go and Google yourself and check out that very first page. And I want you to fill it up with content that is consistent with the dream business that you want to have, not what you are right now, what you see yourself as in 5 years, 10 years, because all of that is just compounded. So seek out and start saying yes to those podcast opportunities, to panels. When you see expos, public events, conferences that align with the business you want to have 10 years from now, the way you want to show up in that Google search, attend, go to meet and greets, invite your people to connect with you, do the work so that your digital reputation is so incredibly strong that you can reach out to someone in Tanzania, which I just did 2 days ago, and they were able to Google me. And I'm super excited about what's going to come from that conversation because you have that ability. The option is there for you. I want you to brag on yourself. Others are attracted to that energy. People want to be a part of the winning team, and let them know that you're a winner. You are worth betting on. You are it, honey. You are it. If you're getting something out of this presentation, go ahead and put a 1 in the comments so I know that you're getting some value out of this. Put a 1 down in the presentation. Thank you so much. So phase 4 is leadership. When it comes to leadership, we need to get back to that word of alignment, right? We want to be in alignment, live in alignment. And to get in alignment, you have to be clear about why did you start this business? And I don't mean, I want to pay my bills. I don't want someone telling me what to do. I don't mean that. I mean, what makes you get up in the morning and show up? And it is probably a very deep motivation of, I want to be validated. I want to be needed. I want to be a hero in my family. I want people to respect me. I don't want people walking over me. I want to feel powerful. I want to feel present. These are very deep-seated emotions as to why you show up every day for your business. And it's never as simple as I want to pay my bills and I don't want people telling me what to do. So when you get clear about that level of your why, I want you to also be clear about the lifestyle that you want with your business, because you are truly in charge of the way that you show up in your brand. You are not obligated to show up like Bill Gates. You are not obligated to show up like me or like Seneca or like anybody else in your business. You are in charge of your reality, and you don't owe anyone else a replication or to duplicate their level of success. Your level of success is for you. So ask yourself, how many hours do you want to work a day, a week, a month? How much money does your business need to profit in order for you to do that? And so again, this is Launch and Live joy-focused business strategy. And what that means is, in order for you to work those number of hours a week, a month, a day, you need to make X number of dollars so that you can have somewhere to live. Maybe you're going on vacation. Maybe you're going yachting every week. I don't know. And that number, don't be apologetic about that number either, because really, truly think about what is the lifestyle that you want, find out how much it costs, and start reverse engineering, do the math. Who do you need to hire right away so that you can do those things? Now that you have that list in front of you of the people that you need to hire, the people that you need to bring on board, do you need to hire them the very next day? Of course not. Of course not. But now you have a written plan, and that is so powerful, and I'm going to tell you why. There was a study done with Harvard on their students, and they did a study about productivity and execution. And they found that people who write things down are 95% more likely to do that thing than people who don't. That is incredibly powerful. Do you understand that you are 95% more likely to make the amount of money that you need to make to reach your ideal lifestyle just by writing it down? If I heard that, I'd be grabbing a pen right now. If you don't have a pen in front of you, I don't know what you're doing. Now, you may not accomplish it tomorrow, but I guarantee you, because of that study, I can very confidently say to you that you will probably hit that number just because you wrote it down. So last thing is, who do you need to fire, right? Because leadership includes, and boundaries require, that when you are pushing yourself forward, there are things that you are going to need to let go. And I think that's very powerful, and it's very important that we confront that reality, right? So when you start saying no to certain things, that means that you're saying yes to the hours that you want to work every day, to the amount of money that you want to make, to the person that you need to hire, because you're letting go, you're making space. And if we want to get biblical, we put the jars out there so that they can be filled. We let the Lord fill in the grace of what we are missing. And that is just biblical practice. And for me, it's common sense. I've seen it many, many times. You make space for the things that align with what you want to see. So now that you know that, now that you've written it down, let's do it. Speak up and speak out. Talk about yourself. Start using technology to solve problems that are happening within your business. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs will tell me, it's very hard for me to manage my calendar because, I'll double book things, or I'll show up late to different appointments, or I'll have all these things. Why don't you just use Calendly? Why aren't you using Acquidity? Why aren't you using Google? Google has its own free calendar. Put a buffer every single time that you add something to your calendar that gives you 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after. That one behavior will dramatically change the way that you can show up for yourself and for other people and for your business. So what was the old way? The old way was our no, like, and trust factor based on your previous experience of unrealistic requests and trying to be the best value. The new way, what I want you to do moving forward from today is I want you to be intentional about your digital reputation. I want you to set standards that are elevated, and I simply want you to meet it. You don't need to do anything more than that. Set elevated standards and meet that. And then allow people to trust you because you have systems in place, technology in place to clone yourself and over communicate. You don't need to do it in real time. You don't need to do that. So I'm going to end this presentation right here. And I'm going to come back on camera because I want to share with you the reality of my day-to-day. So today, I'm here with you all. Obviously, I'm super pumped to be here and share this presentation with you, but I also have 3 other clients who have events today in Virginia, in Miami, virtual, and obviously we're here. And I'm very present. And the reason why is because I've followed all of these steps that I share with you. I follow them. And I believe in planning in advance. I believe in over communicating with your team. I believe in having a team and trusting them to do what they're supposed to do so that you can be present. And that means present here in this presentation. It could be present watching Netflix. It could be present getting my nails done. It could be present holding my baby. It could be present with my husband. You have the option to be present in the things that truly align with your core values. But in order to do that, you have to get serious about cloning yourself and being consistent. So when you get clear, when you get visible, when you reinforce those things so that you can get confident, then you can show up as a leader and build your business. And believe me, the burnout will not be as prominent as it may be right now.
Thank you so much. That was fabulous. I'm sure that we got some value from that. If you guys have any takeaways, let us know in the chat. I know that you said, Vivian, your time today is split. So I don't know if you have to go now for sure, like hard stop, or if you can answer a question. Are you open? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Want to ask a question, you can come off of mute and ask your question, or you can type it in the chat. I'll give you a moment to do that. So this is definitely very needed. And just to let you know, there's going to be a part 2. We are going to have part 2 of, working on your branding and marketing without burnout with Dr. Tracy, who is also the co-founder of Flourish Media. And this is exciting that we get you guys to kind of do 2 parts because we get like various points of views with the same thing. So I love that. And again, if you want to come off of mute, you can come off and ask your question, or you can type it in the chat. I do know someone asked a question on social media about Facebook ads, sponsored posts, Google ads, and stuff like that. And I know that's something that Flourish also supports people with, and it definitely can help with burnout. Would you like to share anything about that?
Yes, for sure. So when it comes to using ads, what that's doing is allowing you to replicate your sales process, right? The way that you talk about your business in such a way that it is being presented to a mass amount of people without you having to do it in real time. So what did we just talk about? That visibility being consistent in that visibility, and then being able to be confident. So what happens with Facebook ads is that they are taking your cash money, right? And I bet that one of the things that will keeps you from spending on Facebook ads is that you probably have said to yourself or out loud or to someone else, I don't know if it's going to work. And the reason why is because you have not said and practiced that message to enough people where you are confident, because Facebook ads is simply condensing and collapsing time. It's compounding your ability to be visible to a massive group of people. When you have a consistent look, you have your photography in place, your logos in place, you don't have a problem spending $500 to repeat the same message that you've said to however many people in real life, and you've seen sales. So what that does, it helps you to do that. So I will say this, that as a small business, there's a lot of other ways that you can spend your money when it comes to Facebook ads. Facebook has gone through quite a number of different changes over the years when it comes to their privacy settings, their ability to connect with people, your ability now with your iPhone or Apple products to turn off your privacy actually lessens the capability of Facebook to reach those ideal clients. While it does protect us as individuals with our privacy, it does hurt small business to be able to do that. So what can you do? Well, number one is that you can consider and take the extra time to look for podcasts, look for blogs, look for smaller entities that are speaking to your exact and ideal client, and spend that $500 there. Because believe it or not, your $500 is going to make such a larger impact with those opportunities and those outlets than it would on a Facebook ad, just because Facebook is in the middle of its own restructuring. Behind those smaller podcasts, blogs, and areas, even local newspapers or restaurants, wherever your people play, that's where you need to spend your money. Outside of that, I highly recommend getting into Google ads, because Google is very, very powerful, even in the sense of the way that YouTube is connected to Google. And we can get into a whole nother separate conversation about utilizing YouTube and YouTube videos in order to reach your ideal client, because it is very, very powerful and worth your money and time.
Great breakdown. Thank you so much. And you know, this stuff, you can go really deep with it, you guys. So now you know who to reach out to talk about this if you're considering it for your brand. Vivian, let them know how they can work with you. There are different ways to work with you and connect with you. There are events coming up. So I don't want to go into sharing the event. You can go ahead and let them know.
Yeah, so the best way to connect with us, I think, is just to follow us on social media. We are at Flourish Media Co. on socials. And then the other way, if you do want to deeply get that kind of support, is I would consider joining the wait list for our Made for Millions Mastermind, which is an outstanding way for you to get deep strategy, planning, support. So really nice community. And if you just want to hang out, we do have a free Facebook group, and we talk about that all the time on our social media. It's linked in our bio. So I encourage you all to check us out. But we're here, Flourish Media Co. We're all over the place. And yes, we are Flourish Media Co. on all the things.
That's a major takeaway, because when people are looking for you on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and you have different handles, they're like confused and they might forget, to follow you. Yeah. So
let me go ahead and find the link. I'll go ahead and share it before we close out. Let me see.
Okay. Just I see Sharita says, thank you. I have many takeaways, clarity, visibility, connect with my audience and my dream clients, and the yes and. Thank you again. So thank you, Sharita, for sharing that. That is amazing. I would say, like, a major takeaway too is, once you are very clear on your business and who you serve, it's easier to be visible, because then you know how to structure your branding and messaging, and then you can invest money into ads or promotions or anything else. So That was my takeaway. All right. So Flourish Media, the website is there. The Instagram is there, so you can find all the things that they have coming up. All right. Well, thank you again, Vivian. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. I am looking forward to part 2, you guys. Go ahead and RSVP to part 2 of Branding and Marketing Without Burnout. We're going to have Dr. Tracy come on. And if you have any questions that you forgot today, please, please, on the replay, please in the comments, post those questions and I will send it over to them, or they can be answered in part 2. All right, you guys have a great weekend and conquer your best. Peace.
Bye-bye.